Yo. So, I've never made a drama YouTube video like this before, but I thought that I would give my input on the Trisha Paytas situation. Only because I feel like I have a new opinion to give because of my psychological background. I have actually been diagnosed with BPD, so I know a lot about it. And I'm going into my 4th year in my psychology degree, so I've been doing a lot of research, and I don't mean to brag, but I know a lot about psychology and whatever. But I wanted to talk about something that is maybe not being discussed as much. Like, we're talking about how Trisha's avoiding talking about the actual case that is being rallied against her. If you didn't know, a old teacher of hers that she had mentioned in episode 17 of Frenemies was accused of a lot of bad things against Trisha. You probably know this by now. And she named him, like, called him out by name. And turns out this teacher is deceased, so he can't defend himself, and his family is getting all of this backlash, I guess, or like trying to figure out what's happening, like whether their father or whatever is actually who Trisha says he is, because there's no evidence. Trisha said that there is an article, but if you look it up, and a lot of people have done digging, there is no article that relates to the same timeline, same area, nothing like that. Trisha has said that there is reports, that she has made reports, so maybe those weren't posted. I can see those not being public. If you just file a report to the police, it's not usually public. But she said he was arrested, so I feel like there would be things about that. There's also times where Trisha has talked about other teachers being really supportive of her in her books. So it's all really like crazy and misconstrued, and we don't really know what's going on, what is the truth, what isn't. And so Ethan put out a statement and he basically said that until Trisha enlightens the situation, he's taking down episode 17 because it's causing a lot of discourse in the man's family, obviously. If they didn't know about it, can you imagine? So he's taking it down until Trisha can enlighten the situation. And Ethan even said in his message that he doesn't think that Trisha would lie about it. So I don't think that what Ethan did was out of malice at all. I think it was to make sure that H3 doesn't get sued again, and also to protect the family, just in case none of this is actually true. And to be fair, I believe that this has happened to Trisha, and that's what I want to talk about today. So I want to read these text messages that came out from Ethan and Ela, because I feel like this is important to also note. So I have them up. I'm going to put them on screen, hopefully, if I can edit this video very well. If not, there's lots and lots of screenshots and re-uploads on Twitter. But I'm going to read it word for word as much as I can. So this is in the Frenemies group chat, which is an old group chat. It has Dan, it says it has Ethan and Ela, it probably has AB and other people like that. But this is the first message that Trisha sends to them. She says, or they say, "I am begging and pleading for the last time to never mention me again passing. To never mention me passing again. Moses is now being falsely accused of rape. I should probably... Moses is being accused of R-word. I was M-word as a child, and the family had no idea. And now they're getting harassed because you guys are allowing the subreddit to post his name. by the way, the subreddit, looked into it. There's not a lot about Trisha on that subreddit. Not a lot of people are talking about it. I think Ethan has made it clear to his audience that he's not going to respond to any of that stuff, so there's no point in them posting stuff. But I think Trisha's pretty obsessed with the situation, so she's gonna dig for those threads that have one comment or one upvote, and she's gonna be like, look, they're talking about me. Even though nobody sees that stuff. Anyway, she says, I'm happy that the frenemies was taken down. I was told inaccurate information as I often misspoke on situations that I just believed without researching. I had reported this M word as a teenager. There are reports of it. That's what I was saying. There's reports of it. I don't know if there's actual stories about it. Every single time you guys made jabs about me, the hate riles up. So recently, Ethan had put out a podcast that basically said that he's done with it. He addressed the last things about the Trisha and Moses situation, and this was like a week ago, and he says, I don't want to talk about her anymore. And from then he didn't say anything, and said that he wasn't going to keep talking about her. So her saying this, like, every single time you guys make jabs at me, they don't like talking about her. They actually avoid they avoid talking about her quite often. I keep saying her, but that's, Trisha has referred to themselves as her and they, them, so I apologize in advance, just because I'm really bad at pronouns, but I'm trying my best. So I'm only halfway done this message that Trisha has sent. They have doxed Moses' ex-wives. They are tweeting to Morley's dance company that he was a R-word. They have doxed Moses' ex-wives. They're tweeting... Oh, I literally just read that. All of it is stemming from the H3 subreddit and your continued mocking of me. There is no continuation. The subreddit doesn't really post anything. I have ceased talking about you. I will never got the rest of my life mention your name and will ignore every question. This is too much. This girl has a lawyer to sue Moses of R-wording her. Even having it go to court will jeopardize his status in this country. Do you not see what is happening? I know you check the subreddit. I know you have control over these things. When you don't talk about me, this stuff dies down, and I'm pleading with everything I have. What do you want to stop this? I will pay every cent I ever earned from frenemies back to end this. I will put out whatever statement you want me to make. I just need this to stop. It's not funny anymore at all. It's very serious. And then she links a tweet from Only Foot Friend, which probably not the most credible source. Just gonna put it out there, but it tags Moses, and it says, this artist at Moses has been accused of R-word. Please remove him. So obviously there is people who believe that he is an R-word, but this is all allegedly. And then she takes some stuff on his subreddit that is being put up there, and sorry, it's like really small on my computer. Send emails to Trisha's sponsors. Don't let Trisha weasel herself out of this one. And it has 25 upvotes, which, not that many. I think regular posts on the subreddit that get to the top are around, I'm just basing this off of what I've seen on PewDiePie's subreddit, but I think they're around like thousands, not 23. The cops went to my mom's house questioning her about my stepdad M-wording me 20 years ago, which is, that's traumatizing to bring up for sure. And another thing from the subreddit she screenshotted was a kid in elementary school did inappropriate stuff and confirms that Trisha's garbage past mother created the absolute mess of a person. So they're blaming Trisha's mom for everything. So it's not just affecting Trisha, it's affecting her family as well. It's obviously affecting both families. Ethan said, you really need to make a statement on the Mr. Riley stuff. That's the teacher that is deceased. And she said, they said, you do not get to tell me what I need to talk about. I've talked about his family. They were unaware of the report I made as a child. They want it to go away. You do not get to tell me how I handle my SA. So I think that from what she says, from what they're saying, it sounds like that Trisha talked to the family, but who knows how recent this was. Who knows if they talked to them recently or years ago when this happened. They're unaware of the report I made as a child and they just want it to go away. So, like, of course, every family just wants this to stop. Nobody wants this public. Then Ethan says, this is not a private chat, so don't assume you have rights to privacy, and I will share these screenshots if necessary. And she said, what? Trisha said, wow, I'm pleading for you to stop, please. I'm pleading, this is not funny, any of it. It's actually distress. I'm begging you just to stop talking about me, please. I tried calling you, Ethan, please. Ethan said, anything you want to say in writing, please? Trisha says, I am saying it. I am pleading for you to stop. Why can't you? Ethan said, okay, then no need for phone. Trisha said, why can't you leave me alone, please? Everyone you talk about me, more of the stuff comes up. It's all kind of bad English right now, but I understand when you're like texting furiously and you're not really checking. There's a really cute dog outside. Oh, it's a little cute dog. It's like a little French bulldog. He's like this big. I wish I could show you, but I don't want to show the owner as well, but he's so cute. Okay, anyways. And what happened here? I lost it. Okay. Moses is being accused of R-word. It's too effing much. You can record our call. I don't care. I'm sincerely begging for this to be over. Ela then pitches in. This is the first time Ela says something, but this is an important message. They're just running around the park with this tiny dog. Sorry. My mom is having a mental breakdown and my whole family is basically broken down. Welcome to the club. You're not the only victim here. Start taking responsibilities for your own actions and stop blaming us for everything that is happening to you. And same for Moses, who is not in this chat, but I'm sure he is reading it. Trisha then says, I have, and I stopped. Then Ela says, little too late. And Trisha keeps saying that she keeps talking about this message as if she said too little too late, but she said little too late. And I know the word difference isn't that much, but too little too late sounds a little bit harsh compared to little too late. Because she's just saying, like, you stop talking about us now. You stop talking about all this stuff now, and it's a little bit too late for that because it's all exploded. And then Trisha says, please just do the same. It's not. It keeps going and going and going. What do you want? Moses in jail for a crime he didn't commit? And Ela said, sorry, you don't get to tell us what to do. So obviously they are very upset about this situation. I've never heard Ela talk like this before. Trisha says, I am not. I'm asking. I'm pleading. Ethan says, how do you know he didn't do it? Which is that hurts. Just reading that, it hurts. Trisha says, if you guys ever texted me. He didn't. There's text. Ethan said, how do you know? And Trisha says, he has so many. Ethan says, I saw all the texts. Trisha says, wow, you guys know him. Ethan said, I thought I did. I don't know him. I believe the victim. Trisha says, you are falsely accusing someone you know. You don't know this person. Oh my god. Now, with that, I don't think Ethan and Hila are accusing of anything. I think they're supporting the victim, and choosing to believe the victim's side for now, you know. But I also believe that Moses is innocent until proven guilty. I haven't seen these text messages, so I can't really comment on them, but I'm gonna try and do more research after this. Anyways, the message continue. Hila says, you are sending her hate nonstop. Think about what you're doing. And Trisha says, I haven't said anything. So she has said stuff. She has made jokes about it with Moses on their TikToks. They have kind of brought it up like, oh, they're jealous, like, blah, blah, blah. They're not taking any of it seriously. I remember playing Minecraft and listening to something like Trisha and Moses had said together that basically Moses doesn't believe he's done anything really wrong, and everyone thinks that Moses is silent in this situation, but in reality he's probably backing Trisha and probably believes everything that she does. If not, he could be fueling this. Like, Moses is not the good guy in this situation. Hila says, you were calling her a stalker. Trisha says, I've effing stopped everything. I just want this to end. I'm pleading. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm asking, like, effing please. Ethan says, and this message is all over the place. I don't really know how to interpret this message. And you would do if you actually cared about victims, you hypocrite. Shame on you both. I am so trembling with anger and disgust, shame and sadness. I've never also heard Ethan talk like that, which is scary because, not because of how he said it, but just like, it's obviously affecting all of them, like, a lot. So I want to, like, be delicate with this situation. Trisha says, what? People lie. People do. This is not a random case. This is someone you know. So she's saying that the victim lied, which happens sometimes, but I have to do more research on what actually happened with the victims because I don't really know that much. I've only heard that Moses had some ex-girlfriends who were like, yeah, he's manipulative and he's using Trisha for her money and stuff like that. So I've only heard those things. I haven't heard anything about him being like R-wording, but I did hear that he stealthed someone, which I'll put the definition up. Not a great thing to do, and it's a form of essay. So this is that, I'm assuming this is what they're talking about. There might be more that I don't know of, but there's obviously these texts that nobody has seen. So, and I really don't want them to release it, honestly. It's just too messy at this point. Then Ethan says, well, Trisha said, this is not a random case, this is someone you know. What? And Ethan said, I thought it was. And Trisha said, your whole Reddit is saying I lied about being M-word, but believe all victims are right. Why can't you just leave this alone? Like, really, it is too far. Ethan says, your accusation does not line up with the evidence. I am still waiting for you to clarify. Trisha says, you can hate on us. Ethan says, I owe you nothing. Trisha says, fine, oh my god, okay. And then Ethan ends this by saying, shame on you both. So obviously this situation has escalated quite a bit, and I think it's past who's right and who's wrong in this now. I feel like, and this is why I wanted to talk about the Trisha thing. This is why I don't think she's lying. Because she has brought it up so many times, makes it more believable. It doesn't matter how the details may have gotten a little mushy. The human memory is not very good. We remember things falsely, and we make up things to cope with our trauma. And we also sometimes just wash things from our brain. Like, our brain can actually do that. We can misremember things, and with trauma, we cope in very extreme ways where our brain will make us remember something completely different. For example, she was talking about in her book how her teachers were understanding of her and everything like that. But at the time, because this book was a while ago, at the time she could have still been coping with it. She could have still been like, oh yeah, all these other teachers were really nice, but that one teacher was essaying her, and she just hadn't gotten to the point where she accepted that yet. Again, I don't know the timeline. This is all speculation. But I'm just kind of putting it out there that victims' memories can get messed up. And this could be true, and I don't think we should just outright say, well, we haven't heard from the dad or the guy, the teacher, so we should not believe anything Trisha says because sometimes she lies. Like, we need to believe the victim no matter what. And honestly, I believe Trisha. This doesn't mean that there is gray area. There is not gray area or whatever. There is probably a lot of gray. There's probably a lot of gray area. And God, I lost my train of thought. So with these messages, I think you can tell that Trisha is just asking for it to stop. She really has not responded at all, which is concerning, because if she really did go through this situation, you think that she would at least defend herself and say, this did happen. I don't understand why you do not believe me. I don't think that she needs to recount this whole situation, because that in itself is very traumatizing. Because if this did happen, there's no way she wants to actually go back to that memory and recount it and then tell the whole internet about it. She doesn't want to do that, which is totally understandable. That's why there's so much gray area in this, because at one side of the spectrum, we have this family who wants to know the truth, who needs to know, like, did he do this? Did this teacher do this? And then the other spectrum is where Trisha is, where she could be lying about this, and that would be completely messed up. But there is also the side where this definitely did happen, or this could have happened, and no matter what it looked like, this trauma is real to her. Now, it sounds like I'm really defending Trisha and all this, but I do believe innocent until proven guilty. And that's just law. And I just think that that should be taken into consideration, that we shouldn't be prosecuting this family. And honestly, all of these families just need time, I think, right now. I think all of them need to step back from the internet, just not say anything else, and just, because the more it blows up, the worse it gets for the families. Like, Ela is pregnant right now. Stress can cause miscarriage, and this is a lot of stress. She said in that message that her whole family is breaking down, and that's all her supports. If all of her supports can't even keep it together, how the fuck is she supposed to keep it together? She has a child already. Ethan and Ela have businesses. Like, this is obviously interfering with their lives. And on Trisha's side, she has her mom being accused of things that may or may not be true. Moses is getting calls all the time from employers and people spreading what could be misconceptions, what could be lies, and jeopardizing his life, as well as her family's, her mom's. And if it's true, if her mom didn't know anything about the M word with Trisha when she was a kid with her stepdad, that can bring up a whole thing for the family. Can you imagine? Like, yeah. And then, of course, the teacher's side of this his family is definitely going through it right now. They're seeing all this stuff come out on the internet about their dad, father, that's the same thing, father, like, teacher, brother, whatever. They're seeing all this stuff, and that's so traumatizing if you don't actually know the truth, if you don't know what to believe. Then most people just assume the worst. So, yeah. And I think the internet is also assuming the worst in this situation. So, honestly, my thoughts on this is that everybody should chill. It's stupid, no. My thoughts on this is that everybody should take a step away from the internet. I know everybody says this, but I really think that the situation needs to end. Like, it just needs to be over. Trisha released all his DMs. Ethan has said that he's taking a break for a week, only a week, which is, I feel like he should take more than that. A week to chill. Donna is apparently still posting on Tuesdays, like a Q&A. So I'm gonna watch that. I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with the situation, but like, I kind of would like to see the state of Donna, like if she is okay, and if she reveals anything. I don't think she will, but I think you could probably tell her, like, tell how she's feeling just by watching a video, or at least tell a little bit. Yeah. So that's about it. I'm obviously not the leading expert on this, but I do feel like the victim should always be protected no matter what. No matter if it's Trisha or whatever. The victim should be believed. And the fact that she's brought it up so many times leads me to believe that it is real. And she may have misconstrued it for her own mental health. And she may have messed up things in the moment because she was angry or just feeling all these emotions, because people with BPD can disassociate really easily and can dig themselves into holes that don't exist. So I feel like we just need to all stop persecuting anybody. I don't think there is a solid right and wrong side. I don't think it's like Ethan and Ela versus Moses and Trisha anymore. I think it is way more complex than that, and we all need to just let it be. Yeah, I'd like to see how things move forward, but from what Trisha was saying in her videos, I don't have those videos, but I know they're all over Twitter and stuff, so if you look hard enough, she basically just recounts everything that she says in the messages, and she kind of alludes to that if anything happens to her, if anything begins to escalate anymore, like, Ethan and Hila had the power to stop it. So it feels like she's threatening them almost. Like, it sounds like emotional blackmail to me. Because we know that Trisha has blamed people for her going to the mental hospital before, with her and David Dobrik and her ex. So if she goes to a mental hospital again, theoretically, I can see her blaming Ethan and Hila for that. And of course that doesn't look good on anybody. But yeah. So I'm hoping that Trisha seeks help. She says she has a therapist. She needs to talk to them. She needs to make sure she's in a safe space. And so does everybody else. Everyone else, Ethan and Hila's family need to take time for themselves to step back from the situation and make sure that they are okay and that their kid is okay and that their family can survive this. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I don't think I have anything else really to talk about, but maybe I'll make another video. I don't know. This is my first YouTube video. It's probably not gonna do well at all, but I just thought that I would put out my thoughts because I have so many of them and nobody to talk to about them. So if you like this, subscribe or don't, because I don't know if I'm gonna post again. But yeah, so peace.